Hi, this is Perrin Cornell with Coldwell Banker here in Wenatchee, Washington. And it's past the middle of June, and so I wanted to get, or excuse me, the middle of July. Time flies when you're having fun. And I wanted to get some information out about the market so far year to date, basically through June, which would be the first 6 months of the year. But to do so, we're going to look at two reports. We're going to look at a report by Pacific Appraisal, which talks about the sales and market data. And then we're going to look at a article from Lifestyles magazine about how to look for a house and the things you should do if you're a buyer. And if you think about it, most sellers are also going to be buyers, so this could work for sellers as well as buyers. So, but in order to do that, I'm going to need to share my screen with you for a moment. So we'll do this and go over here, and here we go. So first of all, I want to talk about the market. And this is the report I want you to see. We can, let's see, go up here, and we will, red, yeah, red's, I think the color we want to use. Okay, this is the real estate report from Pacific Appraisals as of June 30th, and it is primarily for the Wenatchee, East Wenatchee area, and it's just 98801, 98802. That's the area that's we're concerned with. If you can see over here, you can see that the total sales were 95. Okay, that's up from June of 2020, where they were 92. It's a 3% increase, pretty modest. Nothing to really get too excited about. And if you think about the rest of our market and what's going on, it's probably a good reason for it. Sold in the last 90 days, there was 270 homes here sold in the last 90 days, 3 months. Okay, look at the median price over here, 425,000, up 21% from a year ago. Actually, I saw a number on condos, and they were up even 50% from a year ago. But I think that number is a little bit misleading, because that's the median sales price, and median sales means that it's that's the one right in the middle. You know, there's an equal number of sales above it and an equal number of sales below it. So if you look at the sales prices over here, you're going to see a really interesting fact. Notice there's 30 active listings on the market. That's it, just 30. And those 30 are what we have to support those 400 sales. Now, if we break the sales down by price range, notice that the largest sale amount is right here in 701,000 and more, 135 sales in just that one category. Normally, you would expect that our sales would be down somewhere around 300 to 350, or even 300 to 450, somewhere in that range. Okay, and but they aren't. They're at the other end. So that's why I'm saying that the 425 is a little misleading, because it's distorted. It's the number in the middle, but it's heavy on the top end for the big numbers. So that's going to pull the number in the middle up. Okay. Now, if we go down here a little farther, there's a couple other indicated things. Notice that in the price ranges, there's a total of 47 active listings in that 700,000 price range, and there's 13 in the 250 to 300, 8 in the 300 to 350, 26 in the 350 to 400, and 24 in the 400 to 450. If you take the 300 to 450, it's about this. It's not many more properties than it is in the 700,000 or more. So the number is really tilted, and there's a lot of competition going on in these areas, and homes are frequently selling for 10, 15, sometimes $20,000 more than what the ask price was. So you need to be able to handle that, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. And the average number sold per month, we're selling about 94 homes per month. Remember, back up here someplace, we had about 30 on the market at the time. So we're selling about 90 per month. And again, 22 of them, 22 and a half of them are 700,000 or more. 17 are in the mid threes to fours, and low fours to mid fours, 12. So again, there's way more on the other end, and it's strictly a supply and demand thing, and it's not a speculation thing. And because of that, we expect the market to continue to go the way that it is, with slight increases in availability. And hopefully, unless something happens government-wise, we'll come out the other end of this with a soft landing rather than a hard landing like we did in 2007, when everything was largely driven by speculation. But you know, it's not just enough to talk about the sales. We got to look a little bit at rentals too, because those people that are selling are going to have to rent many times. Or people coming into town are going to want to rent while they're trying to find a house and trying to find a place to move into. It's not there. If you look, you can see that the multifamily homes, that would be apartment houses, okay? Our vacancy a year ago was 3%. Vacancy today is 0.9%, less than 1%. Multifamily, excuse me, that was multifamily. That's what I meant to talk about. The plexes, that would be duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes. Vacancy a year ago was 3%. Vacancy today is 0.3%. And overall, the vacancy rate is a year ago was at 3%, and today it's at 1.1%. So landlords are cutting the fat hog right now. And with the lifting of some of the moratoriums because of COVID, though there are a lot of condos and a lot of apartments coming on in the market, in our local market, still the vacancy rate is so low, they're getting snapped up as fast as they come on, and at prices that 2 years ago we would have thought were virtually impossible. Now, one other thing I want to share with you, and that's this report. Let me get up to the top of the page here. Must-have items to bring house hunting. That's an important thing, because it's time consuming, but it's something that you have to do. You really can't, in good conscience, I don't think, buy a home without seeing it. So you got to go out and see but what is it you do? What do you look for? How much time is it going to take? What are some good tips? Well, here's the first one. Notepad and pen. Take a notepad and pen and make notes of the houses as you see them, the things you like, the things you didn't like. Also, any questions you might have for your agent based on having viewed the house. Another good point is a checklist. Create a checklist. And if there's two of you buy, the checklist should be wants and needs for both of you, prepared independently, and then get together and put them together and check them out and see. In this market, if you can get 80% of your checklist wants, I think you're doing pretty good. And if you can get 80% of your needs, you're doing very good. So you might have to make some compromises. This will help you decide what's important and what isn't. Listings, you might want to bring some listings with you, or be sure your agent brings some. Camera or phone, you want to bring your camera or your iPhone or your cell phone and take pictures of the houses, because they get confusing after you've seen 3 or 4. And you can remember, well, let's see, which house had the green door or whatever. A measuring tape. Usually your agent should have one, but if they don't, bring a measuring tape so that you can see if that room is big enough to support Aunt Effie's dresser that she gave you that you can't stand, but you got to put it someplace. Or the bed for your master bedroom. Will it fit in this master bedroom? Bring a flashlight. You may get into a position where it's dark and you may need it to look in some corners and crannies. Comfortable shoes. It's not uncommon to look at sometimes as many as 5 or 6 homes a day. And some of those are on lots of maybe anywhere from a half acre to 2 or 3 acres. And so it's important to, have shoes that you're comfortable with. That about brings that part of our discussion to an end. And so I wanted to just bring one other point up. If you're interested in any of this stuff, okay, one of the things you can do is give either Kristen or I a call, and we're happy to help you any way that we can. Here's Kristen. Here's her phone number, which is 509 670 8159, and her email address is Kristen at CB Cascade. Oops. or you can contact me. And my number is 509-669-0354. My email is perrin@cbcascade.com. Okay, we look forward to hearing from you. We look forward to working with you. If you have just questions, if you see something on the market and you want to know something about it, give us a call. We can look it up right away. Let me take that comma out of there. That doesn't belong there. There should be an N right there. We can answer your questions. If we can't answer them, we can find an answer for you. We're happy to do that. We're happy to work with you any way that we can. So give us a call, and happy house hunting.